So Martinsville came and went, and as expected, Trucks and Xfinity. Pretty solid bangers, even though most of those races kind of had a clear dominant winner. And for all intents and purposes, most of the time when someone just kind of leads the whole race, it's not really interesting. But the magic of Martinsville is that there's always something going on, and it was pretty interesting from flag to flag, just about. Minus the Fox broadcast being absolutely terrible, lowering the greatness of Martinsville in those races. But yeah, both those races were fine. They weren't anything like 9 or 10, but 10 out of 10, but they were like, solid 7s, 8s maybe. I don't know. It's just, they were fun. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Then we get to the Cup Series, and it's like right, a completely different universe. Now, again, I only saw like the last 80 laps, but basically from everything I've seen and just watching this race, and even the race replay that they showed at like 3 in the morning, and I tried to watch it. Yeah, it was just borderline nothing happening. William Byron is basically the only car that could pass. It's kind of like what happened at Sonoma last year, where like no cars could do anything except for Truex. It's just like this, and it was so uneventful and lame, and so not Martinsville. That what do I expect? What did I really expect? I kind of expected the same shit. What are we at? Like race number 5 at Martinsville, and the only thing memorable from that is Ross Chastain doing the most batshit crazy move ever. That's the only highlight that this race had. Nothing conventional, nothing normal. It's just all trash, and so many things keep being brought up. More horsepower, get a smaller tire, more tire wear. The same shit. And I want to get really mad, but I kind of expected that. It's not really a surprise anymore. We're at race number... This is our 5th Martinsville race with the Gen 7 cars. It's just typical. It's typical trash. And the broadcast, again, just kind of makes it worse. Mike Joy goes on a tangent about some genuinely insightful, informative stuff. And then Clint Boyer is just basically like, hey, you're an old man. Wow, where'd you get that stat? It's like... just completely disrespecting Mike Joy. And Mike Joy has his own things we can criticize him on. He called people that criticize Fox like keyboard warriors. That's dog shit. I'm never going to defend that. I've lost a lot of respect for him from that. That's a whole other tangent. But Mike Joy's giving like some insightful like historical information. And then Clint Boyer is like not saying anything insightful or engaging in the conversation and just is like, where'd you get that, old man? It's like, why are you here? I remember, again, this is the same Clint Boyer that went to a restaurant during COVID and it was completely stupid and irrational and dumb, and he's done other stupid shit. But man, I wish he was just gone from the booth. So that's a whole other tangent there. But yeah, the race was just boring. Joey Logano took 2 tires and he had like 180 lap old left side tires and basically almost won stage 2. He got past like 10 to go. So I guess tire wear is a factor if you're like 150 laps into a run, but stages aren't really that long enough for that to actually happen. And again, we go from Bristol where tire wear is like every 3 laps, which that was an accident. So we have one end of the spectrum, and then the other end, of this camera frame is Martinsville, where tire wear doesn't kick into like 150 laps, and then obviously stage 1's like 80 laps, so like nothing happened there. Literally nothing happened. Larson just led, and that was it. Stage 2, I guess, was like a speckle more interesting, but it's not saying much. We're literally comparing like a 1 to like a 1.5 by that point. And then stage 3, again, I only saw the last 80 laps, so I saw the first 2 stages on the race replay. I fell asleep because I was bored to tears, and then I saw the race live with like the last 80 laps, and that last 80 was like nothing. There was passing, but that was only because people were on like 100 plus lap old tires, so I guess that is good. But again, stages break up the flow of the race, so if this was just 500 laps, maybe this could have been interesting, but it would have taken like 130 laps for that to happen when that doesn't seem right. And yeah, just me saying Logano stayed on like 180 lap left side tires, almost won him stage 2, is pretty embarrassing. And then there's like an image online like Joey Logano's like tire treads or something, and there's like barely any wear on them. So that's bad. The tire compound is a complete joke. If they're not going to ever increase horsepower, which again the Xfinity series don't really have much more or less horsepower than the Cup series, but yet they bring a pretty good product almost anywhere they go. That was like quintessential Martinsville tire fall off, things happening. The broadcast missed frickin' Riley Herbst getting. They cut from the camera when another car like slammed into him, like no acknowledgement of that. Also the just obnoxious reminder that this is Hendrick's 40th year with his first win. Did you not understand that? I hope everybody else understood that was its 40th year. That's a whole other tangent. This is a whole other tangent on its own, but Michael Jackson's Thriller, they released like a 40th anniversary, which is stupid because they did one for like the 25th anniversary, and then they're doing like for the 40th one, then they're going to be doing one for the 50th, so it's like an hour and a half to wait like a 10-year gap, and it's just this big marketing ploy. Because to me, when I think like a milestone, mile marks, I feel like, 25th anniversary and 50th anniversary should be big highlights. We shouldn't be doing arbitrary ones for every 5 years. Like, or not every 5 years, like every 10 years or 5 years. Like, it should be for every quarter of century marks, like 25, 50, 75, and onwards. That should be kind of big deals. Not the 40th. It's stupid. So that's just dumb. I swear to God, if I did like a supercut, if I find like the raw footage of the race, I guarantee at least 30 or 40 minutes of the race was probably them just talking about it, having whole segments about it. I guarantee, just from even mentions, I guarantee it'll be at least over 30 minutes of that broadcast was just them talking about it. So that was obnoxious. And it's like, yeah, they're the winningest team. They're the bestest ever amongst all of it. The Hendrick simps absolutely will love that. If I was a Hendrick simp fanboy, I would be freaking, making children to it, but it was just annoying. So there was that. I don't even think there was like anything good I can even really praise. Byron was the only car that could pass. Golf clap award. I mean, one car can do it, but there's instances where it's like they get behind a lap car and then they're just like there's nothing they can do, and it's just absurd. I don't even know what else to even add. It was just such a nothing race, typical. And this is why I'm doing a live stream racing at Martinsville in Heat 5, because I guarantee it will be better than what we just witnessed, because holy good God, that was just depressing. And for Martinsville to be such a depressing track where nothing happens, and again, I've seen Martinsville races over the years, they're not like this. They're not just a case where just nothing eventful occurs. You could have average races, you could have 5 out of 10s or 4s, but man, Not like this, where just nobody can do next to nothing, and tire wear just doesn't exist. It's just disgusting. And they just don't want to do anything. They're doing like everything except they did something to the underbody. I don't know what, but it didn't really matter. So it was just sad. It was just a sad state of affairs. I'm just so glad I don't have to be in a position where I have to watch the full race or even get nearly invested. The race game, actually the best pro I can give is that this race gave me good sleep when I watched it on the replay. I will say that. It gave me good sleep. So I appreciate that. I sometimes takes me maybe 10 minutes to go to sleep. That one was just, once it went to the, I was thinking to myself as it was going through like most of stage 2, just thinking to myself, I wonder if I can close my eyes and go to sleep in like 2 minutes before the commercial comes back on. That was like a challenge to myself, and it eventually happened. I was impressed by that. That's how sad that got. So yeah, when there's a bad race, that's like the only pro I can ever say is that I slept good, and it worked. So yeah. Also from a fanboy cap on perspective, Truex crew chief with the big brain stupid decision of keeping Truex out on old tires at Martinsville, where track position is so paramount. He basically just screwed his race up. So good job on that. Great decision there. Even though Truex literally had like a 5th place car like almost the entire day, but then decided, we're just gonna keep him out there, him and Suarez, and we're just gonna just moronic. Like, there's not probably many instances where I'm going to say I'm a better crew chief, but in that moment, yeah, probably not doing that. Yeah, it was just a nothing race. We're going to Texas. Honestly, I think in this insane case, I think Texas will be a tiny bit better than Martinsville because it's a mile and a half. Even though this is like the worst comparison for a mile and a half standards because Texas is so monstrosely like ruined. I guarantee that cup race, which was like borderline 2.5, that would be better by some margin. Maybe not by much, but it will be better. And it's just frustrating to go like, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know how many weeks it's been. Because COTA was kind of uneventful. So yeah, a couple weeks now where just nothing really has happened. But we'll eventually get to a mile and a half where it's amazing and then we can, go nuts over it. But yeah, this car is a complete joke on short tracks and road courses, which is kind of funny because road courses, they were specifically designed to be good. But I guess they're too good. They're just, the brakes are way too good. The traction's way too strong. Man, I miss the Gen 6 car. This car is basically like an inverse of the Gen 6, basically, in terms of the tracks. It's like the pros of it, and then the cons, it's all flipped. I don't know. That's my tangent, rant, whatever. I'm just so done of it. But at the end of the day, it's just, what do you expect? What did you expect? It's just typical trash at Martinsville. It wasn't anything surprising. We just got more examples. That's all we got. We got more examples of how bad it is. Logano being on like 180 lap old left side tires, and it didn't matter. That kind of just says it all right there. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm done. Rant over. If you can even call this a rant. This would be like a rant, but not in all caps. So just be like, just normal rant, not like all caps. So, it'll be mild, but I don't know. I'm done. Okay, so I just want to add this one extra little bit. The graphic. Like, I wouldn't even care about the graphics if it's just one stupid blunder. Like, we can all ha-ha lol amount of the Jensen Button graphic error at COTA last year where they messed it up with JG Alien. That was dumb. But how do they get the past 5, like, winners at Martinsville wrong? It was, like, wrong. They had Kyle Busch winning in, like, 2022. Only one of them was right. It had Daniel Suarez winning in like 2021. It's like, what are we doing? How is it that bad? Like, how is it that bad? You go on Racing Reference and you just click on Martinsville and you see all the Martinsville race winners of the past 70 years or however long. Is it that hard? Who is doing these graphs and how are they getting them this wrong? To drivers that aren't winning, I don't even think we're anywhere relevant in those races to even be genuinely confused. And how does it happen? How? It boggles my mind almost every week how bad the Fox broadcast is. Because those should not be things they mess up on. It really should not be that hard. It's so embarrassing. I can. Then like immediately after that race over, I think NHRA was on, and it's just like they're popping with energy and just doing everything right with the broadcast. They're not showing up wrong graphics. It so much life, and then it's such a disaster. It really should be a case study in the future, like 30 years from now. We can look back at this time period from Fox from like whatever year it started when they objectively started becoming bad, and then to whenever 2028, I don't know, of just a case study of what not to do, because it's literal amateur hour. I don't even think it's amateur hour. Just I really feel like it's just being done by people that just don't understand the sport, or just I would dare to say care, but just it's just lacking some common sense. Like, it's really not that hard to find the last 5 winners of Martinsville and look up the information. There's Racing Reference. That's it. How do you botch so bad? Like, it'll be one thing if they got the driver name right and then maybe oh, they got the driver number right, but maybe like the background of it, or maybe the font is a little weird. Okay, we can chastise that a little bit, but it's like not even close. I'm done. That now I'm definitively done. That just it's just reprehensible, just absolutely disgusting.